This is the Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame show, and as New York prepares to drop the ball on a new year, New York's hockey team does exactly that in their final game of the old year. Very different effort, very different feel, very same result. Rangers lose 5-3 in Florida to the Panthers. Now 7 losses in their last 8, 15 of the last 19. Inside our Delta MSG studios alongside Brian Boyle, I'm John Giannone. This was an extremely different game, albeit still no points in the standings, but a game in which the Rangers trailed 2-0 and 3-2 and came back to tie it in both cases, scoring 3 on the night, which most nights is good enough to win.
Yes, and unfortunately for the Rangers, a lot of different things that were positive. Same sort of start, though, unfortunately for them, and they couldn't dig out of that hole. There were a lot of positive things you can take from this game, but winning, there's a process involved to it. And the most positive thing from a Rangers perspective is Filip, his game. He seems to have found his confidence again. He played with pace, obviously. He's got a high skill set, but he played with courage. He was fearless. He was driving in the middle of the ice, and he created what offense they could get 5-on-5, especially early. And I love the forechecks that came after that. That sparked the Rangers to play a simple north-south game that they really just sort of mucked it up in the corner. They'd throw it in, they'd win a few battles, they'd hit someone, they'd keep a puck alive, and then their skill can take over. You get a team on their heels that way. That's how you can get them to back off and to find lanes, and that's what they did with the Ryan Lindgren goal. And then the power play, which was good all night, I thought. The switch was indifferent. It was the 4 other guys that were really making a lot of the plays. And the pass here to Chris Kreider, where he popped out a little farther away from where he normally likes to score goals. It's a great pass. Set up from Panarin in the corner, feathers one in, just a little soft one, and an elite finish under the bar for Kreider. A lot of great things, including the penalty kill, which was excellent as well. There was a lot of positives from this game. Getting out of slumps is hard. You got to play almost a perfect game to get out of slumps, and that wasn't quite there for the Rangers.
Yeah, the imperfect moment came with 8:22 left in the third, and that's when, during a tie game, Jesper Boqvist, who had already scored once in the game, found himself on a rush and then on a rebound and was able to score what was the winner. Brian, take us through it.
Well, it was just it was a tremendous amount of speed he brought and sort of a weird transition play. He had caught Keandre Miller off guard a little bit, and at that point, I think maybe try and take a penalty. It was a bit of a reach here. The puck gets in his feet. Maybe you can try and haul him down. A great save from Igor, and then you do what you have to do. You try and just get it out of trouble. And Florida does what they do well. They stay in front of the net. They throw a puck on net. They don't dust it off at the blue line. And here it comes. It's a good power move. They stay with it. You see their defenseman, Nate Schmidt, driving the play. It causes all sorts of confusion. And then it's backhand to forehand with a great finish from Boqvist. Unfortunate bounce for the Rangers, who played a number of good minutes to that point. But again, when you're losing like this, sometimes you just find ways to lose. It takes a little bit of time, and it takes a lot of reps to get out of that funk.
Yeah, Igor Shesterkin on his 29th birthday, not so happy. 11 losses now in his last 14 games, and he allows at least 4 in a game for the 10th time this season. Let's begin the Ranger reaction in Florida to this 5-3 loss. Let's begin with defenseman Adam Fox.
You said had some good 5-on-5 play, power play. Came through with one. Obviously, I need to come through with another one there. But, once we tie it back up twice there and let them get one soon after, they're not good enough. And, yeah, just not enough to win that game.
Felt like some of the hardest you guys have competed lately, too. Is it, do you think, just add to the disappointment when you don't get the result?
100%. I mean, I feel like we came out of this break looking to use that as a reset. Last game, it was really special teams that killed us. Special teams was obviously much better today, but yeah, I mean, we're kind of feels like we're repeating the same stuff at this point. At some point, it's got to be wins. It's not just did better 5-on-5. It's got to be wins, and it's extremely frustrating. But if we keep playing games like that, we will get wins, and I think that's really all it is.
Obviously, the schedule is what the schedule is. You don't have control of it, but how much more difficult has it been? This has been kind of a bit of a gauntlet of a schedule. A really good team after really good team.
Yeah, I mean, no team's easy. I mean, we certainly aren't looking ahead any games at this point. We're just taking it one game at a time, and like I said, it's just getting a win at this point. It's we're we're way past, played good and didn't get it. So, yeah, at some point it's got to be a win, but we're certainly taking it game by game and not looking at any upcoming schedule beyond the next game.
Truth there, Brian. Do you think when you're in a rut like this, when you're in a hole like this, that you really can't take any moral victory out of it?
I think you can focus on positive things and try and use that to bring into your next game. You got to focus on the positive things because that's what you're going to repeat. I think that is really where your attention should go to. I think he said something interesting. Adam Fox said, if we play games like this, we're going to win more than we lose. That's probably true. Honestly, I think the 60-minute effort was more there tonight than in a lot of games in the past, recent history. So a lot of the things he said were true, yes, and those are the things you want to tell yourself, but it is a results-based business, and if you don't win, you don't do your job, and that's how you feel in that room after. But focus on the things you did well, because you're more likely to repeat them afterwards.
Sergei Bobrovsky made 33 saves in this game. Do you give him a lion's share of the credit for the way tonight went? I mean, there were some saves in the third period that were pretty special.
And if you watch the 6-on-4 and 6-on-5, absolutely, that's who saved their bacon tonight, and that was their MVP. I mean, you get contributions up and down your lineup, but when it matters most, Sergei Bobrovsky was the best player on the ice. I think Will Cooley will probably tell you that at the end, and there were other opportunities. That and his knob of his stick made a couple beautiful saves. It's gamer stuff. That's what happens at the end of a game. It's the margin for error and wins and losses is so small, but if you continue to go down the path they went down today, where they competed much harder. That's a different Rangers team tonight than we've seen in a while. That's a positive you can take from it.
Yeah, and the king of competing tonight was Filip Chytil. He had his 7th goal of the season. He had a career-high 7 shots on goal in the game. Let's hear from Chytil afterward.
Yeah, I felt great. I felt great. Play on the puck a lot. We had a lot of chances. I had a lot of chances, but how I said, goals decide the game, and that's the thing what I'm working on every day. And today it could be more than one, but yeah, it's just thing I gotta work on, and it's gonna get better.
When you play 2 solid games in Florida and you still don't win a game, can you still feel good about it even though you didn't win?
It depends. We're gonna build on the game, but clean up the things which cost us the game. So it's lost 4 points on this trip, so it's not that positive. But yeah, we have another day tomorrow, and we play a game in 3 days, so we gotta focus on that right now.
And that next one will be Thursday night at the Garden against the Boston Bruins. What was so particularly good about what Chytil did tonight, beyond the goal?
I think his speed and just his confidence with the puck. He looked like a man possessed that really wanted to change the game for the better. He contributed offensively, obviously, but he created so many different opportunities. He hit the bar once, and he has wide speed here that backs Florida Panthers D off. He changed the pace of the Rangers game, just as one player can do. He creates this opportunity for himself, misses by a fraction of an inch, gets to the net, creates more havoc, gets rebounds, gets shots. He was all night long. He was creating things, and it was 5-on-5 for the most part, obviously, and that's the hardest thing to do. But he wanted the puck on his stick, you could tell. He wanted to challenge forward his D, you could tell that. He was driving to the middle. He was creating. Edge work was phenomenal. It was really fun to watch.
And something to carry forward for him and for the Rangers despite the 5-3 loss.